And we've probably seen that image there of Christ coming and the Jews mourning when they see Jesus and the marks in his hands and recognize that he was the Messiah. But it's not just a time of mourning. Armageddon is not just a time for them to mourn, but it's many things happen on this at this time. As I've got here the heading, Armageddon is the day of Israel's national redemption. Because first of all, Christ will destroy sin's power as manifest through Russia and the nations that come down to Jerusalem. They will be destroyed, and they represent the power of sin. Next, we saw that the Jews will mourn him whom they have pierced. They will be sorry for their sins, just like in the Day of Atonement. They will then willingly accept their Messiah. They will recognize Jesus as the Messiah. And most importantly of all, as we saw the Day of Atonement, wasn't just about mourning, but it was also about taking away sins. And so the Jews' sins will be forgiven. And that's actually illustrated there in Romans chapter 11. Actually, we might just turn to Romans 11. We'll have a look at it. So if you've got your Bibles open, let's just turn to Romans 11, which tells us about this time. So in Romans, we'll read verse 15. So Romans 11, verse 15, it says, "For if their being cast away, that is the Jews, is the reconciling of the world, what will their acceptance be but life from the dead?" And also we go to verse 25 to 27, which says, For I do not desire, brethren, that you should be ignorant of this mystery, lest you should be wise in your own opinion, that blindness is in part, as happened to Israel, until the fullness of the Gentiles has come in. And so all Israel will be saved, as it is written, the deliverer will come out of Zion, and he will turn away ungodliness from Jacob, for this is my covenant with them when I take away their sins. So there we have really the culmination of the Day of Atonement. What was the culmination? Was that their sins would be forgiven. And that's the Day of Atonement, as we said, it represents the things that are going to happen to Armageddon. And finally, the Jews, as a nation, will have their sins forgiven.